Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief Show. I'm your host, Jenny. Today, we're diving into some big news from around the world and here at home. First up, the US government is taking a hard line on Chinese students, especially those linked to the Chinese Communist Party or studying critical fields. The Trump administration plans to revoke visas aggressively and tighten scrutiny, which might shake up international education and diplomatic relations. Next, in the world of art and commerce, Hong Kong is riding high on the designer IP wave. With characters like Labubu and Molly making waves globally, local creators are turning Hong Kong into a hotspot for unique, culturally rich collectibles that are also big business. Lastly, Hong Kong is positioning itself as a global hub for restructuring and insolvency. Thanks to its robust legal framework and expert talent, the city aims to become the go-to place for cross-border financial recovery and corporate rescue. Please continue to watch for more details. The New York Times vividly reports that the Trump administration is intensifying its crackdown on Chinese students, announcing plans to aggressively revoke visas for those connected to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields. This move is part of a broader strategy to scrutinize and limit Chinese influence within U.S. borders, with the State Department collaborating with Homeland Security to tighten visa criteria and halt new student visa appointments. The policy has already caused concern among the international academic community, as over 275,000 Chinese students studied in the U.S. during the 2023 to 2024 academic year, contributing significantly to American universities' research, innovation, and revenue. Critics argue that these measures threaten long-standing educational and cultural exchanges, risking the loss of invaluable contributions from Chinese scholars and students, and potentially damaging U.S.-China relations further. Nikkei Asia highlights that the Trump administration's actions extend beyond visa revocations to include a broader social media vetting process and a halt on visa interviews for foreign students, signaling a tightening of U.S. policies on international education. Historically, Chinese students have been a vital part of American academia, with their numbers declining post-pandemic amid fears of espionage and national security concerns. Experts like Princeton's Zichen Wang warn that such policies could backfire by harming U.S. interests, as Chinese students are seen as vital contributors to scientific progress and economic growth. The move also echoes the controversial China Initiative, which faced criticism for racial profiling and discrimination, further complicating the diplomatic landscape. Meanwhile, Chinese officials and institutions advocate for openness, emphasizing the importance of scientific collaboration and modernization, warning that isolationist policies could slow global innovation and weaken the U.S.'s strategic position. South China Morning Post vividly captures Hong Kong's burgeoning IP goods economy, illustrating how local creators and collectors are riding a wave of cultural innovation and commercial success. The city's vibrant scene is exemplified by figures like Kenneth, a fintech millionaire, who spends millions on designer toys and limited edition art pieces from globally renowned brands like KAWS and local artists like Michael Lau. These collectibles, which include toys, figurines, and merchandise, have become more than mere objects. They tell stories, challenge norms, and serve as emotional anchors for fans. Hong Kong's unique cultural fusion positions it as a key player in the rapidly expanding IP industry, projected to reach $50 billion, with local creators like Lung Ka-sing and Kenny Wong pioneering the space. The craze for characters like Labubu and Molly demonstrates how social media fuels demand, turning toys into status symbols and cultural icons, while the government recognizes the potential by supporting projects that blend East and West, aiming to elevate Hong Kong's influence in the global IP economy. South China Morning Post reports that Hesai Group, the world's leading producer of automotive LiDAR sensors, is embarking on an ambitious global expansion, with Southeast Asia chosen as the site for its first overseas manufacturing facility. This new plant, which is slated to begin construction later this year and start production by late 2026, aims to serve the company's international clients, including major EV manufacturers like Li Auto and Geely. Hesai's strategic move aligns with its broader Go Global vision, as it also plans to establish factories in Europe, notably partnering with Mercedes-Benz on next-generation vehicle projects. The company's recent financial results demonstrate robust growth, with a 46.3% increase in first-quarter revenue and a plan to quadruple manufacturing capacity to meet soaring demand for LiDAR sensors driven by the rapid adoption of autonomous driving and advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS. Chinese tech and auto component companies, including Hesai and CATL, are increasingly gaining recognition and influence in global markets, exemplified by Hesai's partnership with European automakers and CATL's record-breaking 41 billion Hong Kong dollar stock sale, which will fund overseas manufacturing expansion. Deutsche Welle details a significant legal setback for the Trump administration, as a U.S. federal court in Manhattan has blocked President Trump's attempt to impose sweeping tariffs under emergency powers. The court's decision underscores concerns that Trump exceeded his authority, with lawsuits arguing that such tariffs, announced on April 2, destabilized global trade and were improperly enacted without congressional approval. The ruling signifies a major legal challenge to the president's trade policies, which aim to address trade deficits but faced opposition for their unilateral and unpredictable nature. Meanwhile, the U.S. is ramping up restrictions on Chinese nationals, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio announcing plans to revoke visas of Chinese students connected to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields, citing national security concerns amid escalating U.S.-China tensions. This move, combined with increased vetting and social media scrutiny, reflects a broader effort to tighten immigration controls and scrutinize foreign influence, especially from China, amidst ongoing geopolitical frictions. BBC reports that the Trump administration is intensifying its crackdown on Chinese students studying in the U.S., emphasizing aggressive visa revocations targeting those with links to the Chinese Communist Party or enrolled in critical fields of study. Secretary Rubio highlighted efforts to revise visa criteria and enhance screening processes, including halting new appointment scheduling for student visas and expanding social media vetting. This policy shift is part of a broader strategy to counter perceived threats from China amid deteriorating relations and a tit-for-tat trade war triggered by tariffs. The U.S.'s actions include deportations and the freezing of university funding, which have faced legal challenges and criticism from academic institutions that rely heavily on international students for revenue. The move reflects rising geopolitical tensions, with the U.S. seeking to limit Chinese influence and safeguard national security, even as it risks straining diplomatic and educational ties with Beijing. The South China Morning Post vividly depicts the soaring luxury real estate market in Hong Kong, highlighting the recent acquisition of a 119 million Hong Kong dollars flat in mid-levels by Shirley Shirao Pingpeng, Tung Chihua's sister. This purchase, made at an 8.5% discount amid a market slump where prices have plummeted by as much as 45%, exemplifies how the wealthy are capitalizing on depressed prices to buy high-end properties. Celebrities and tycoons, like Kanto pop star Gloria Tang Tzuke, are snapping up discounted luxury units, signaling a resilient appetite for prime residences despite the downturn. The city's super-prime housing market remains fiercely active, with sales surging by 380% in late 2024, driven by mainland Chinese buyers and a renewed confidence in Hong Kong's property sector, even as prices from the peak in September 2021 have declined by nearly 28%. The South China Morning Post also reports on Manchester United's pre-season tour in Hong Kong, where coach Ruben Amorim urged fans to support the team despite recent setbacks. After a disappointing 1-0 loss to the ASEAN All-Stars in Malaysia, Amorim defended the team's efforts and emphasized the importance of supporting the club regardless of results, recalling his own childhood devotion to Benfica during tough times. He acknowledged the team's lack of hunger and the risk of injuries during their Asian tour, which could impact the upcoming season. Amarim's candid reflections reveal a team battling to regain their competitive edge, with fans' boos at the recent game serving as a reminder of the high expectations and emotional investment of supporters who remain loyal despite the team's struggles. The South China Morning Post highlights Hong Kong's strategic position as a global hub for restructuring and insolvency, R&I, emphasizing its cross-border capabilities in managing financially distressed companies. The city's robust legal framework, efficient judiciary, and extensive expertise make it uniquely suited to handle complex multi-jurisdictional cases involving companies with assets and operations across Asia and beyond. With initiatives like the mutual recognition of insolvency proceedings with mainland China and pending legislation such as the Corporate Rescue Bill and the UNCITRAL Model Law on cross-border insolvency, Hong Kong is poised to strengthen its role as an international R&I center. These developments could attract more cross-border insolvency cases, enabling Hong Kong to capitalize on its advantageous legal and financial environment and reinforce its position as a leading global financial hub. CBC reports that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced a significant shift in U.S. policy towards Chinese students, stating that the United States will begin revoking visas for some Chinese students, particularly those studying in critical fields or with ties to the Chinese Communist Party. With over 270,000 Chinese students in the 2023-24 academic year, making up roughly a quarter of all international students, this move adds to the growing scrutiny and uncertainty faced by foreign students amid the Trump administration's tightening controls. The Department of State, working alongside Homeland Security, is also revising visa criteria to increase vetting, including reviewing social media activity, which has already been a requirement since 2019. These measures follow previous actions such as halting new visa interviews and attempting to deport students involved in protests, creating an atmosphere of heightened suspicion and deterrence that threatens to diminish the U.S.'s reputation as a global hub for cultural and intellectual exchange, as voiced by PEN America's Jonathan Friedman. South China Morning Post vividly captures the tragic incident in Mong Kok where a 60-year-old man lost his life after being struck by a private vehicle driven by a Hong Kong police officer. The story unfolds with a detailed account of the accident occurring in the early hours, near the bustling junction of Nathan Road and Prince Edward Road West, emphasizing the victim's helplessness as he was trapped under the car before succumbing to multiple injuries at the hospital. The report highlights the ongoing investigation by the Traffic Special Investigation Team and contextualizes the rising toll of traffic-related fatalities in Hong Kong, with a 44% increase in deaths in the first quarter of the year, contrasting sharply with the record low in serious injuries last year, thus painting a stark picture of the city's road safety challenges. The South China Morning Post also explores the broader implications of recent geopolitical tensions affecting international education, especially focusing on the U.S. Harvard controversy. The article details Harvard's temporary disqualification from admitting international students, prompting swift responses from Hong Kong universities that offer unconditional admissions and support for affected students. Yet, it underscores the psychological and logistical hurdles faced by students emotionally invested in their original institutions, suggesting a strategic pivot towards establishing Asian campuses for top-tier Western universities. By citing successful models like Duke NUS, NYU Shanghai, and Nottingham's Ningbo campus, the report advocates for Hong Kong to leverage its unique position, balancing global recognition with regional proximity, to foster resilient, internationally integrated higher education hubs. It emphasizes that expanding into overseas campuses and strengthening partnerships could safeguard academic continuity amid geopolitical uncertainties, positioning Hong Kong as a resilient and innovative global education nexus. Victor Sansa's reflections on New York life and style serve as a vivid testament to the city's vibrant cultural tapestry and personal inspiration. His love for art at MoMA, the flavors of Koreatown, and Brooklyn's nostalgic charm reveal a deep connection to the city's dynamic energy, which fuels his creative pursuits. His favorite souvenirs, like Maryland's Old Bay seasoning and homegrown spices, symbolize a rootedness in tradition amid his cosmopolitan lifestyle. Sansa's appreciation for luxury stays at the Upper House and Four Seasons Madrid reflects his refined taste, while his fascination with Africa's colors, patterns, and nature hints at a boundless curiosity that fuels his artistic and design philosophies. He admires Alexander McQueen's rebellious spirit and innovative bravado, seeing in him a kindred soul who defied conventions. For Sans, the iconic 19-degree design embodies Tumi's relentless pursuit of innovation without sacrificing its core values, a testament to his belief in pushing boundaries while respecting tradition. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Turn on the TV screen, see the world unseen. China's on the news tonight, history in the spotlight. Scroll through my phone again, find out where to begin. Stories from the east to west, learning from the very best. News in China every day, learning in a fun new way. From the cities to the farms, feel the heartbeat, feel the charm. Tales in modern times, mountains high and river rise, culture rich in every town, golden driving never down. Every headline a new friend, from beginning to the end, connecting hearts through every word. China story always heard. News in China every day, learning a fun new way. From the cities to the farms, feel the heartbeat, feel the charm. A new friend, from beginning to the end, connecting hearts through every word.